As coaster enthusiasts, we love traveling around trying to find the latest and greatest roller coasters. I'm talking those rides that really get your adrenaline racing, the ones that you want to keep going back on over and over and over again. But on the flip side, sometimes in that quest for greatness, you come across the rides that are quite the opposite. I'm talking the ones that are rough, uncomfortable, just blatantly bad rides.
This is gonna be a fun one, guys. We narrowed this down to our 12 least favorite roller coasters in the world. A couple of these I will preface and say are types, because otherwise we would just have like 12 Vekoma SLCs in a row. And that's just not that fun. So
well, there's one of the 12. You gave that away.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, and at this point, we're very fortunate to have experienced a lot of different roller coasters out there. And because I remember a few years ago, we did this video, and actually several of those attractions that were on that older list have actually been taken down. That's how bad they were. Even the parks knew that these are not good. We got to get these out. And I want to shout out 3 rides in particular, because these are rides that probably would have made the list had the parks not already gone ahead and made some changes to them. So these rides can no longer be experienced in the form that we rode them in that would have put them in the top 12.
One of the more egregious ones that would definitely be on this list is All-American Triple Loop. Absolutely hated that thing. However, we have not done it since they got rid of the over-the-shoulder restraint, so maybe it's, you know, more manageable.
We'll have to go back to Indiana Beach, but I remember specifically after you rode, you're like, that's a one and done. Like, I don't need to do that.
You rode it like 3 times.
I rode it 3 times because I was curious. I was like, maybe it'll get better. And the ironic thing about that ride is the more I rode it, the more I disliked it. Like, my first ride was probably the best of the 3.
Oh, great.
I don't even know how that's possible.
I really feel like I missed out.
Yeah, we also have to shout out Wildcat at Lake Compounds, because when we rode this, we said that was the worst wind roller coaster we had ever ridden. And since then, the Gravity Group has come in and done a bunch of retracking work using their pre-cut track, and supposedly it's running a lot better.
And the last one is one that I really would like to put on this list, but apparently it has new drains and it's not as bad anymore. Goodricks.
Yeah, not a fan of this ride at Park Asterix.
But you know who was? Tanner Tucker.
Of course he was.
He rode it more than anything at that park.
Well, you know, saying something is the worst is an inherently subjective thing. So, I mean, I think our criteria is, one, we're looking at the rides that you have to ride defensively, because maybe they're just like not profiled in a way that they just like bash you around. Maybe they have a restraint that just detracts from the ride experience, where maybe otherwise it would be tolerable, but now it just like pushes the boundaries of like what you can do, that you're like, okay, yeah, I've done that once, I don't need to do that again. So,
or in my case, I'm like, I'll hold the bags.
So, you already mentioned Vekoma SLCs. That is the first ride that we gotta get completely out of the way. This is Vekoma's suspended looping coaster. It has been cloned all over the world, and while some are certainly better than others, this is generally a ride type that I do not look forward to doing. It's the epitome of, I'm gonna get the credit, and then we're gonna move on to something else.
And I will say that there's like a, you know, there's exceptions, right? Like if you've ever done the Great Nor'easter at Maurice Pier, that is like actually a great ride. I didn't think the one in Energylandia was that bad, but like generally speaking, these are like a no-go for me. Like I will, there are some parks that I've been to so many times and I've still never ridden their SLC, and I don't plan to.
Yeah, that's valid. I would say the ones in particular that are the worst offenders have the original trains. But I think this ride, when done well, proves that the layout objectively is not bad. It's just, it's old school Vekoma. They've learned from their mistakes. They've moved on to bigger and better things, but these rides still exist at a lot of parks.
Up next is the first of a handful of wooden roller coasters that will make this list, because it's, I feel like, easier to have a bad wooden roller coaster than maybe a steel coaster.
The parks that maybe just aren't quite maintaining it as well.
They can get rough.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this was a really bad offender.
Yeah, so this is one that actually, in like a previous list, we talked about like the most awful wooden roller coasters that should get turned into an RMC. And this was our number 1 choice, and that would be Bandit at Movie Park Germany.
So this is a Coney Island Cyclone layout, and has these just absolutely awful trains. Did not feel like the park was taking care of this thing at all. And the worst part is, I don't think it's gonna be turned into an RMC anytime soon, because apparently it's still popular. For whatever reason, people keep riding this thing. So guys, please stop. This next ride comes from a model of roller coasters that we actually never experienced until earlier this summer. And we've only done one of them, and this was not good. We're talking about the Swiss Chance Toboggan. The only one in the US is currently operating at Little America in Wisconsin.
That was trauma.
Kind of describe this for you guys. So first you get in like a little box, like one of the tightest cars ever, because this is not a train. This is one car that can only be described as like a cage. Thank goodness it's padded, so it could be worse. If this was a ranking, then maybe there would be some others that would be considered worse rides. But you then go up a vertical lift hill and then travel down these like helices in a spiral, and that part isn't so bad. It's the end hills.
And yeah, then you reach the car accident portion of the ride experience.
That's just horrendous in every single way. I don't know why they thought this was comfortable.
I don't know that they did. I think it was more of just the novelty.
A novelty? I guess it is. Yeah, I mean,
it's cool looking.
It does get your attention. You look at it and you're like, what the heck is that? I'm not gonna lie, I was actually a little nervous going into this thing because I had no idea what to expect, but I was fearless, I did it anyways, and I won't be doing it again. Here's another wind roller coaster that we experienced earlier this summer, and when I did it back in 2017 or 2019 or something, I don't remember it being that bad, but the current state that it's in is criminal. We're talking about Wild Beast at Canada's Wonderland.
That was another one and done. You can assume everything on here is pretty much a one and done, but that was like really a one and done. It was really bad.
I couldn't believe the state that this ride was in. The track was like all beat up. The terrain did not feel like it fit. It was like going side to side, going up and down. This had some of the worst potholes and rough spots that I'd ever felt on a wood coaster, period. And the layout has potential because if you've experienced Grizzly at King's Dominion, you can see that that can be done well. So please, Canada's Wonderland, this is a ride that you have to address because no one should be subjected to that ride experience.
I would call that guest cruelty. Seriously, call the gravity group. What you waiting for?
Please, I'm begging you.
So funny enough, I just said that like everything on here is a one and done, but this is one that I ended up on a second time, like sort of by choice.
Wow.
It was mainly because I was with someone that hadn't ridden it yet, and I wanted to see them in their misery.
Yeah.
It was kind of worth it. But,
was it as bad as you remembered the first time?
Yes. We're talking about Steamin Demon.
Great Escapes, steel Aero looper, right at the front of the park. Listen, I love Aero. I love some of the stuff that they came up with. I think they are so innovative at the time.
Some is the key word.
They've got some gems. This is not one of them. This thing belongs in the dumpster.
Steaming pile of
And I feel bad for Great Escape because they only have a handful of rides. When one of your standout attractions is that bad, it brings the entire lineup down with it. So I really would like to see them replace this with something more modern because...
I just take a wrecking ball to it.
Please, yeah, this is what, yeah, you don't relocate this thing. I'm honestly surprised this is still here. So for those who followed our Coastin' Through Asia series, you might remember that when we visited Taiwan, we experienced a B&M coaster that shocked us because B&M has a reputation for providing some of the best thrills in the industry. They have a huge, diverse catalog of attractions and generally considered smooth rides. This was not one of them. This is Insane Speed at Janfusun Fancy World. Probably the worst B&M I've ever experienced, and it's not really close.
Well, I disagree because I have one that's later on this list that I liked less.
Okay.
But I didn't have to marathon this thing. Earlier in the day, I let you ride the crap out of Gravity Max. So I was like, I'll get footage, you ride it, because otherwise they're not sending it.
Yeah.
Same thing happened again with this one, and I was like, okay, as repayment for me letting you ride
Gravity Max.
Yeah, like now you can ride this one again because I don't want to.
Yeah.
So I only had to do it once. You had to do it like 6 times.
Hopefully guys enjoyed the shots because I did not enjoy my ride. Wow, that was just terrible. And like I loved when we posted the POV, like all the comments were just like, that doesn't sound right. On paper, it looks like just a standard floorless coaster. A lot of people drew comparisons to Batman the Dark Knight at Six Flags New England. They have kind of a similar layout. This one's just poorly maintained.
Weirdly enough, this is another one that I had the displeasure of doing more than once.
Oh.
It's not even that I just did it twice. It was that like the second time around, I had Tanner Tucker being like, we need to sit on like the roughest wheel seat so I can get the full experience.
So you got the worst of the worst.
I know, and at this point I had already committed to riding with him and I didn't really have a choice. We're talking about Loup Garou at Walibi, Belgium.
Yeah, so this is one of the few Vekoma wooden roller coasters, and I really think there's a reason that Vekoma decided to stick with steel coasters. These did not turn out so well. Actually, Walibi's sister park, Walibi Holland, had another Vekoma wooden roller coaster called Robin Hood, and they arm-seat it, and it's now untamed, one of the best roller coasters in the world. So Walibi, Belgium, you have seen how well Untamed has gone over. And you have an incredible ride over there with Conda. It needs its complement.
Dude, Conda plus something like Untamed, that park would be stupid.
Stacked. apparently people like riding Loup Garou, which I can't seem to figure out why.
Isn't it near the front?
It's kind of near the front. It's right off the main pathway, and people are just fascinated by wind roller coasters. They have, visually, they're very impressive to look at. But
that is something that you have to be a seasoned rider to know. Like, that's a bad wooden coaster just from looking at it.
Yeah, well, and some just have a reputation, and frankly, because we're not from Belgium, I'm not sure what the reputation of Loup Garou is among the public. But at least among coaster enthusiasts, it's not great.
It's bad.
Here's another wind roller coaster that I would consider bad, but this is bad in more ways than one. Something like Loup Garou, the layout is not horrible. Like, it's not good, but it could be worse. This is worse. So we're talking about Le Monster at La Ronde, one of the worst wind roller coasters ever built. Not just because it's rough, but also because the layout is a complete disaster.
It's a le garbage.
And this is a dueling wind coaster. There are two sides to it. Oh. But what happened with this ride?
It's like literally the most egregiously uninspired coaster I've ever done.
The turns don't make any sense. The pacing is awful. The transitions are so wonky. I could not believe that this ride exists and that they haven't done something better with it.
I forget, did we get both sides?
We did get both sides.
So I remember the line was like stupid long.
Yeah, operations really slow, and we were like, maybe after we did the first side, maybe the other side will be better. And no, they're both terrible.
It's like waiting in line for Ghost Rider, but instead of getting Ghost Rider after the terribly slow paced line, you get this.
Yeah.
So bad.
You can feel our pain.
And now it is time for my B&M quarrel. This is, to me, the worst B&M coaster, and that is Firebird, that is going to be dead fairly soon from Six Flags America.
Yeah, this ride does not have much longer left for this world. Ironically, though, this is another floorless coaster, but this one actually has a bit of a backstory. This was B&M's debut ride. It opened at Six Flags Great America as Iron Wolf. It was moved to Six Flags America as Apocalypse, then it was changed over to Firebird. I never rode it as Iron Wolf. However, I did not really like it as Apocalypse, and I certainly do not like it as Firebird. For the next roller coaster, we're gonna head over to Six Flags St. Louis for their 1989 Arrow and Vekoma multi-looper Ninja. Yeah, you heard that right. This was built by Arrow and Vekoma because halfway through construction, Arrow fell into bankruptcy. So this ride was a disaster before it ever even opened.
So this is actually the one on the list that I do not have. It was closed when we were there.
Oh, you dodged a bullet.
Everyone who's ridden this is like, yeah, you see red. It's terrible.
So this got 4 inversions, 55 miles per hour. The stats really aren't what make it bad. It's just a mess of profiling. Your head is absolutely going to be going side to side there. So Six Flags St. Louis, I would love if you could do something with this ride in the future because that's a good plot of land for something better one day.
St. Louis, it's been a little weird lately, and this is not the topic of the video, but everyone keeps saying that they're closing.
Yeah, apparently they're not closing, but people have just decided that would make sense.
In the scope of the chain, that park is not the most well attended to, so if you like that park, I'd say speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, so let's move on. For our second to last attraction, we're gonna head to Las Vegas, Nevada for a ride that's just a travesty. I could not believe that this thing got built in the first place, especially at a place where it is just making so much money. It's a spectacle. Yes, we're talking about the last Togo in the United States, the Big Apple coaster.
At this point, this thing's basically just a showgirl. It's just there in the skyline. It doesn't really, I don't think anyone actually likes it.
No.
I don't think anyone's ever got off and that was great, I need to do that again.
But people ride it. They pay $25 to do this thing because you can see it right from the Las Vegas Strip. It is the standout attraction of the New York casino. I will at least give them some credit. They did swap out the trains. They do have comfort collars, but at least it's not the old Togo things that were, you're really banging your head around. So it has gotten better.
It's kind of a shame that this is all America knows of Togo because if you go abroad, the Japanese people, they are Togo lovers.
Yeah, Fujiyama, Bandit. There's a really cool one at Greenland where it's dueling with 2 sides. You have the Ultra Twisters.
Just not this one.
No. And actually, here's a little bit of folklore for you. Togo originally had more of a presence in the US with Ultra Twisters at Six Flags Great Adventure and Astroworld. King's Dominion had Shockwave. Canada's Wonderland had Skyrider. Big Apple Coaster's all that's left.
Man. So if this thing closes, that's it?
For the US, yeah.
Forevermore. So for the last ride on our list, we're actually going to be looking at a ride type. There were a lot of these out there. We've been seeing the death of a few, which is totally fine. I, however, have only ridden one, and I am proud of that. We are talking about the Zampa Volare.
Yeah, this is terrible. Zamperla is like a leader in like the family flat ride market, but their older roller coasters were just a complete mess. So this was their take on a flying coaster. Really compact space, but the seating arrangement was just awful. Nothing about the experience was pleasant. The track was rough, the turns were janky, something that I cannot believe managed to get cloned to multiple parks all around the world.
Yeah, so the experience that I had is we did one together, and it was at Prodder, so got to ride it at midnight, and I was done for the day after that, which I guess at that point it was already pretty late. But had the night continued on, I would not have ridden anything else.
No.
I was done for. It's terrible.
Yeah, my first one was Soaring Eagle at Luna Park in Coney Island. I also did Time Warp at Canada's Wonderland. That one is gone, finally, and I don't see anyone complaining about it. And Zamperla has also moved on to bigger and better things, clearly. So those are the ones we came up with. Obviously, there are thousands of roller coasters all around the world, so we really had to narrow this down, which means there are some that we missed. So let us know down in the comments, what are your least favorite roller coasters? Do you also have some of them on here? Or are you one of those weird people that like actually like some of these rides?
Oh, I'm sure somebody watching does. But as the chairman of the Tortured Riders Department, I now declare this meeting adjourned.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.